we understood each other like we do, Rory, with you, and also
Mhm.
Bruno. I know he's a fantastic acoustical guy, and I wanted to have acoustic sound here with a grand piano and soprano saxophone, and you were there with your nice soul and positive energy. That's what we all need.
Well, a big God bless you from me, Rory. Alec, welcome to another Spirit, Soul, Body podcast this Thursday morning, noon or night, wherever you are joining me. Welcome. It's lovely to be with you. I'm excited about today's program. Actually, while I'm recording it, it's tonight's program. This one's pre-recorded. Because tonight we're going to go all the way to an amazing ancient city called Yerevan in Armenia. I'm very excited about this. Now, I don't know if you know much about Armenia. I know a little bit. I've never had the privilege of being in that great country, but I have it on my heart one day to go to Yerevan. And for those of you from a spiritual persuasion, from a biblical background, there's certain parts of Armenia you can actually see the mountain Ararat in the distance, where the alleged Noah's Ark came to rest, if you're into the Old Testament. But today we're going to be focusing on music, as we have done indeed this week. Last Tuesday, or this Tuesday, past Tuesday, a day before yesterday, feels like a lifetime ago. It was wonderful to have David Vader with me doing country rock all the way from the great United States of America. But tonight we're going to focus on a great pianist, a great composer. In fact, he's also a phenomenal violinist. So I'm going to introduce you to a dear colleague and fast becoming a friend as we bring video and audio together. Now, last week I talked a little bit about this concert that I was asked by KARAN to come in and film, and we decided we'd do it on iPhones. Yes. 4 iPhones. So I'm going to kick off with a piece of music, and then we're going to focus a little bit on Armenia, and then we're going to go live all the way to Yerevan, and we're going to catch up, and I look forward to introducing you to KARAN Asatryan. But first, so we have got 4 pieces of music tonight. We're going to have our own little Spirit, Soul, Body suite. We're going to have 4 movements. I probably got it completely wrong, but we can ask the amazing, I consider him a professor. He's a genius. He's not a professor, but he's studied under professors, but he is serious senior lecturer in 2 universities here in Austria. But I get ahead of myself. First, I think we just want to focus a little bit on Armenia. So let's talk about interesting facts, what you should know about Armenia. And Armenia is a beautiful country. Is Armenia a safe country to travel in? And the answer is yes, it is. What is Armenia best known for? Well, I can forward here and look at this quickly and just say there are 7 most interesting facts about Armenia. Number 1, Armenia is an ancient country. And there's certain findings and petroglyphs that date back to 12,000 BC. So we're talking about old. Number 2, first country to adopt Christianity. Interesting. I never knew that. In fact, they're famous for some of their old churches. Number 3, Armenia has its very own alphabet, which was put together by a scholar and monk, Mesrop Mashtots. And I hope I've pronounced his name correctly. The alphabet consists of 36 letters, and scientists consider the Armenian alphabet to be one of the most advanced in the world. Number 4, Armenia is home to the world's oldest winery. I wonder what that wine tastes like. Number 5, Armenia has a record-breaking cable car, the longest. It's over 5 kilometers long, from a village all the way up to a monastery. So if you ever get to Armenia, I encourage you, you need to tackle one of those. Number 6, Yerevan is one of the oldest cities in the world. It's even older than the city of Rome. That I didn't know. And number 7, UNESCO World Heritage Site, Lavash, a soft, thin flatbread, found place on UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage list. It has 3 other intangible cultural heritages: performance of the Armenian epic Daredevils of Sassoon, or David of Sassoon, the Armenian cross stones art, and Dudak, and of course, Armenian music. And it's again on this Spirit Soul Body that I'm very excited to introduce KARAN Asatryan in a few moments. As a pianist, composer, KARAN was born in 1972, beg your pardon, in Yerevan, in Armenia. And KARAN received his first education in classical violin and piano at the Tchaikovsky Music School in Yerevan. He then continued his studies of both instruments as well as in composition at the Komitas State Conservatory of Yerevan, and in 1992 he moved to my part of the world. I only moved here recently. He moved here a long time ago. He came to Carinthia in Austria, where he finalized his jazz piano studies under the direction of Dr. Professor Harry Newworth with distinction. In 2001, KARAN successfully graduated, earning a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Instrumental Vocal Pedagogy Studies, receiving the State Teaching Certification for Jazz Piano. I'm going to move to our second piece of music tonight before I introduce our illustrious and genius guest all the way in Yerevan. I'm going to pick up the second part here, and I hope you enjoy this piece of music by KARAN Asatryan and his Ukrainian friend Andreev playing the soprano saxophone. Amazing. I mean, these two gentlemen, they hit the record button, at least Bruno did, in the sound engineering room. And this was, I think, a week and a half ago. And bang, they just went to town. And it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you, KARAN, on tonight's podcast. Lovely to see you there in Yerevan. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate it. Amazing music there, KARAN.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Rory. Nice to see you, man.
It's wonderful. And this is the first time you actually saw the video work of your amazing composition. I hope you like it.
Yeah,
It's not finished yet, but I hope you like what you've seen so far.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, man. I was listening to your English also, and how you're speaking, how you're introducing. It's music, man. I love your voice.
So you're on holiday, but you also have a concert in Yerevan, and
Exactly.
so you're in Armenia for the, I think, next couple of weeks, right?
No, just a little longer than week, like 9 days. I'm here with a very good photographer, with my very good friend. His name is Gernot Gleis. He's a famous photographer in Carinthia, and we're making a project together.
Mhm.
I'm going to write the music for a symphony orchestra, and he's he's shooting and making photos and documentary of this process, and it's beautiful to see my
Wonderful.
home country, to be here and just to breathe this air, and to
Of
see this,
course.
um, all the castles and yeah, monasteries, and yeah, it's spring, it's
Yes, and
happiness.
the fact that you get a chance to drink a little wine from the oldest winemaker in the world, I think this is also pretty cool, Karan.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
let's talk about your
yeah,
music a
exactly.
little bit. Firstly, we've played two pieces. As I'm saying, it's like two movements so far on Spirit Soul Body podcast. So thank you for letting me use this to show our audience your amazing talents. But before before we get to the history and where you fell in love with music and when and how and etc., just tell us a little bit about this concert or this performance you recorded a week and a half ago that I filmed. Just give us what inspired it, why are you doing it, etc.
um, I will try to explain it in probably with my words. Music is a language, and probably the language I love most. And we are living in really challenging times.
Hmm.
And I wanted to spare like love, a little bit more love, because I'm sure about that we human being need love, and this all the positive sides what we have, what we care with us. And I'm sure about that there are times they are coming which we are not um able to show these good sides. We are
Yeah,
showing different sides, and I'm pretty sure it will come again, that we share love, and we need love, because we need it. It's
yeah,
more about love, actually, love, freedom, and happiness. And generally, if I can make it possible um, to take a listener for 1 hour, and take away
yeah.
from this
The
what
stress and
happening
the
around,
strain.
the stress of the day, and whatever, and just travel with this listener somewhere else, and then actually my goal is reached for me. That's all.
Yes.
It's more or less just a good emotion to share with people. And yeah, I think Andre, it was a pleasure to work with this fantastic saxophone player, and I'm sure we will share the stage in the future a lot, and then I'm looking forward for it. Amazing musician, which
Yeah.
took the idea and really realized what the music, what I wrote about it, about. He like hit the actually the point 10,
Yeah,
100%.
it was a stunning experience for me because I'm also a music producer, and
Yeah,
I'm a musician, but nothing like you are. I'm more into pop and rock and that sort of thing. But I have such an appreciation. I was sharing this with all of the Spirit Soul Body community last week when I was talking a little bit about how much editing I had to do last week. And by the way, I hope you like the editing. Put you on the spot in front of the
yeah,
world here.
man. This was actually not working like a duo with Andre, with the saxophone player. It was a quartet for me in that evening because
Yeah.
we just get together. And also with Andre, I had time to practice like 3 days, like
Yep.
every day 2 hour, and that was all.
Yeah.
It was like we understood each other like we do, Rory, with you, and also
Hmm.
Bruno. I know he's a fantastic acoustical guy, and I wanted to have acoustic sound here, with a grand piano and soprano saxophone, and you were there with your nice soul and positive energy. That's what we all need, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
then
I, I,
it happens then.
I was actually sweating bullets because I know this is going to become an album, and when you hit record from a sound perspective,
Yeah.
the last thing you can do is get the cameras in the way. And obviously, we had 3 iPhones, two of yours, two of mine, locked up. Just so for those of you
Yeah.
who are watching and you don't know the story about it, but we had 2 iPhones, one locked off on Karan on a close up, one locked off on Andreev on a close up, and then I had a wide angle just to give us a safety shot. And then I had the fourth camera, and I was sort of doing ballet around these two amazing musicians. And I'm so grateful that it didn't put you off, and also that I didn't, because many times I stuck the camera right into the piano. I mean, I was literally under the hood. I don't know what you call it. I call it the hood of the piano
Yeah,
of this
yeah.
wonderful Bosendorfer, and you're busy playing sublime music, and I'm thinking, Rory, Alec, just don't hit any microphone. Don't hit the piano because it'll make a terrible noise. Don't touch the strings.
Yeah, no, no, no. It was
um,
cool. I didn't. In this room, we were 3 people,
yeah,
and it wasn't. And this is like we did it together. It's not about Okay, Andre played saxophone and I played piano, but you have been in room, so we were together,
yeah.
and that's about this. And I didn't think about anymore who is in the room, who is running there, because you did your stuff. You was part of it, and that's it. That's
Yeah, no, it was wonderful.
not
I,
much.
I loved the experience. It was a wonderful experience. So thank you for involving me in this project. Now, do you have a name? So we're all asking, everyone's thinking around the world, in America and Australia and UK and Europe, wherever people are watching today on Spirit Soul Body, they're thinking, okay, so what's it called, Karan? Tell us what the name is, and when does this album come out?
This is a sweet. I actually I'm I didn't decide yet which, but I have some ideas. Um, uh, Almost I decide to call it Fairyland Suite, but this is a suite. I'm not sure yet because it's not really out, and
Mhm.
I have to take time, and that's why
Of
also
course.
I'm here in Armenia, because of this symphony project, and I need to let it go like for around
Yes.
20 days to have it, on side, and then it will be the right name will come.
Yeah,
But
that's a very wise decision, I think. Very much a wise
yeah,
decision. Well, I think I'd like to play another piece from it. Can I?
yes, let's do it.
Let's play another
So,
piece. Everybody, we're going to go to video part 3. And this is where Karan actually brings in more of, I think, the folk. But again, afterwards, Karan, you can tell us a little bit more because you're also going to do some vocals with your performing here. But let's have a look at this. the audience, you guys, you just need to know this is like 3 or 4 minutes of 60 minutes. So I'm Karan. I'm not giving away. There's so much amazing material that you guys recorded in one sitting. There was no stopping or anything. It was just bang. There was it. Now, is that where you're bringing in vocals, but you're also bringing a sort of a? It feels far more. I feel like that's more Armenian as opposed to just classical. You sort of bringing in more of a folk tradition there. Or have I got it wrong?
No, it's a mix. It's not mix. I don't do it in purpose.
Yeah.
It's I grew up in Armenia, and we have very rich folk music, really rich. And I hear a lot of classical music in my life, uh, and jazz music also influences from jazz music. It's something mixed between of these three islands and big world. They are all. And Rory, I never think about in which genre is it. It's my language, it's my music. So I put everything what I love together, and the listener or listener should decide I love it or not. You
Yeah.
know what I mean.
Well,
It's
it's so puts so much joy, and I say this for my audience, the joy, because you flow effortlessly from classical into jazz, and then you move on into the folk and the traditional feel, and then it's got such movement and rhythm and color. So it was really a wonderful experience from my perspective, and I'm sure most people who like jazz, who like classical music, and with this, just your interpretation is amazing. How old were you when you realized you loved music? How did it all start for you, Karan?
as long as I remember. I don't know. I think I even wasn't born yet. I was into it from beginning on, because music is a world which can um, move me and emotionally. You can, and I will try to answer it differently. If I am sad, it's like to open the water. You open the water and it's running, right? So the music is helping me to get the emotions in the flow, and that's why if I would have a chance to born again, I will take the same. If I have the chance, I will go the same way. So I will be a
Absolutely no
musician.
regrets. Just it's And the interesting thing, and of course, I didn't know this, and so I would like to have my audience know about this as well. But I mean, you started on violin, and I mean, you worked your way all the way up into the Armenian orchestra, and I think you were the second position on the violins on the strings, right? Have I got that
Right.
correct?
Yes,
Um,
yes, and I love it also very much. But on violin, I had a real hard school, this old Russian school, Soviet school, which I'm really thankful because it was really great. But in that time, I couldn't. So we couldn't improvise. They didn't let us, the teachers. It was like you have to play the classical stuff, and we practiced like 6 hours a day. And I tried always to make some improvisation, and they didn't let me. They said, no, 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 just keep that's
yeah.
do your
Hmm.
job. So, but I was a guy who was when I played a concert like Mendelssohn concert or Sibelius concert. I love Sibelius concert on violin. So for me was interesting what this guy Sibelius, the composer, put harmonies on every part. This is beautiful. It's not only violin part. For me was that interesting. So I went to the piano part and I start to find out the harmonies, check the partiture. So I was always also in a harmonical background of the music. It's not only the melody on the front, not you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I and from beginning on I was on piano also. So I was free on piano because there was not much of this finger, you know. So and I somehow I got the freedom there. That means I could do whatever I want. There was nobody who said you may not do that or you better not. And so I was really free to try everything. But violin I finished, yes, as it has to be. So with completely classical repertoire and
Yeah.
everything. But what I'm doing now, it's again this freedom. So that's why I'm talking when I'm teaching. And I love my students, and they love me also. I'm sure about. We have another connection because I'm searching always the way with love to get something with love, not with pressure. Uh, but this love should be like even not love. It's even more than love. It's like to be addicted to something. You know,
Oh, wonderful.
love so much that you really don't count anymore the hours. You are if you are busy with that like 6 hours, it's
Yeah.
just 6 hours of happiness, not work. You know,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that then it's I think it's very necessary to if you are it's not it's not about success, it's not about to reach something, it's just if you have that feeling already spending 6 hours without feeling that they work
Correct.
6 hours on one thing, uh, then it's 6 hours of happiness, and you are better than before 6 hours. You are in something better. You can do
Yeah,
this phrase.
and you're energized. I find that when you're dealing with what you love, the music, you get energized, and even after 6 hours, you're even more energized. I think, and I think this can work with all walks of life, with all passions, whether it's art or acting or music or drama, and in people working with metalwork and woodwork and growing things on the farm. I think it ties in with all of that with passion. Now
Exactly.
you were
Yeah,
telling me when we were getting ready, we went to the venue before we actually did this filming, and in a moment, everybody, I'm going to play the fourth movement for Spiritual Body. The fourth movement. It sounds very official here. But I'm talking with KARAN Asatrian. He's in Yerevan in Armenia. And of course, I'm in the heart of Austria here. And but you were telling me, KARAN, how you actually came first to Austria, and it had something to do with a circus. Tell us a bit. Tell us a little bit about that.
yeah. Actually, it has. Yeah, it was 94 and 95 in Yerevan. Was we had a war again, and this was very hard time. Armenia has almost every period like 10 years or once we have a very hard time here this country.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't know. Um, uh, but it's my home country and it has so much positivity and so much good things here happening, you know. But it was the time that was war on the border to Nagorno Karabakh and this with Azerbaijan. And I was 20 years old, 21, yes. So I got my offer to work in Austria, and for me was no difference.
Hmm.
I just was not able to go to the border and to kill someone or to be killed. It was something really very far away from me. I couldn't even imagine. So I took this offer and came to Austria, and this was Austrian National Circus, and it's no regret because I worked. I learned a lot of interesting people, lovely people from different countries. From England, from Spain. There were artists from everywhere, from Morocco, some workers from Poland, and was really interesting experience to, and also I learned uh, I mean, I don't. It's not really well speaking, but I learned English there
Hmm.
first. I learned English in Austria. Can you imagine that? So,
But your English is great, Karan. We appreciate it very much.
yeah, once I arranged music for one artist from London, and
Hmm.
he gave me his music to arrange for the band. So I did it, and he said, "Okay, how much should I pay for that?" We start to talk about this business stuff, and I said, "You know, you don't need to pay. Just learn me English." Somehow I tell him that, and he felt very sympathetic about that, and he started to teach me. This is a
Yeah, of course.
table and chair and whatever. So I get into it. It was really fantastic experience because in Soviet Union that time was not possible to even jazz music was like jazz music is
Yeah,
American, so
yeah,
they still have problems with each other. So I don't understand why can they spare love more love and forget about this everything because the
yeah.
people don't need yeah, whatever.
No,
So
so
that's why
so
I'm
you came with the circus. You came to Austria. They loved the way that you worked with the orchestra for the circus. Then you went back to Yerevan, and then they said, "No, please, you need to come back to Austria." And you said, "Well, if I can bring my wife," and they said, "For sure." Now, actually, your whole family, Karen, is extremely musical. Your wife is
yes.
a phenomenal musician herself, right?
Yeah, because she's a fantastic violin player. She's playing also in symphony orchestra. Now we call it in German Stimmführer. She's sitting by Concertmeister, and we met each other with in this violin class because so I know her since I'm 15, and
Was it love at first sight, brother? Was it love at first sight?
yes. So yeah,
So
sometimes we
sweet, you.
really we are both very emotional and loud sometimes, but we love each other because we went away together. We did away also our two kids. They was born here in Austria.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Now your son and daughter are both in music, right?
they are in music. Yeah. My
Yeah,
son is
amazing.
fantastic piano player and amazing producer, and my daughter is studying vocal now in Paris. So it's running good at the moment. Is
It's
I'm
wonderful, wonderful. Well, I think it's time for our fourth movement on Spirit Soul Body today on this podcast. I'm talking with Karan Asatria, and he is in Armenia, in the capital city Yerevan, and I'm sitting here in the heart of Carinthia in Austria. It's actually late on a Thursday evening for him. I really appreciate you, Karan, being here with us, and let's have the fourth movement for Spirit Soul Body. We're focusing on music today on Spirit Soul Body podcast. The whole week, in fact. On Tuesday, if you missed Tuesday's episode, please catch up with it. I was with David Vaders and we were focusing on American country rock. And David, as a musician, composer, a whole different ballgame compared to what KARAN and I are talking about on today's podcast. He is in Yerevan, all the way in Armenia, and I'm here in Austria. And just wonderful music. And it really achieves, KARAN, as we look at that fourth piece there. And by the way, just for everyone to know, the video is not completed. In fact, I think this is the first time, KARAN, you've seen any video footage. And and by all means, you can tell me right now on this podcast, please don't use it, and I will cut it out with no problem. I want you to get a feeling of my excitement for it, and I wanted my audience to get a sneak peek. But of course, I will submit to the maestro. If he says, no, don't show it yet, it's not time, I will remove it. How's that for us being on the spot?
No, it's acoustically I didn't catch. I don't know if is there a technical problem or something, because or I'm online. Probably I hear different acoustic that's running, but it's very soft, the sounds. So I hear your voice beautiful, but the music, I didn't get it. Like
It's very soft. Yes. Well, of course, I'll send it to you tomorrow, and we will then get into business mode tomorrow, and you can have a listen and just tell me if you like it, if it's going on the right direction.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful, man. I love it.
I'm talking with KARAN Asatrian, and as I've said multiple times, he is in Yerevan. So what's your plans for the next few days? I understand you're on holiday, and that's wonderful.
Yes, actually, it's like half holiday and also a lot of work. Also, it's kind of feeling like holiday because it's homeland and I'm here and I have different stuff to do. Like in a home, you have this separate some things to do, and this is now different because I'm somewhere else, and.
Yep.
So I see beautiful places again, and I show these beautiful places to my friends from Austria, to this photographer I mentioned before, and we are talking about project, and this is very creative moment because it's happening. It's happening.
Yes.
So it's like something really getting warm, and so like will burn something, not burn, born. I mean, something big going to happen.
Is being birthed.
Yes, and we took time and all together, take the ticket and go to. I went to Armenia to make this happen. And with our work, with our love, and also with the love of the special God up there, our big.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of these wonderful giftings come together, huh?
Yes, it's a good energy, and this is the most of important thing. And we'll see, some places like today we were in kind of cloister, castle, which was made 7th century before Christ born. You know what it means? I mean, it's like 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, super old.
Yes, and you stay there, and this energy, and you see this all the stones and ways how people live, and
yes,
it's another world.
And let me ask you this question: Does it inspire you as a composer when you actually experience these different sights, sounds? When you imagine history and what happened there before, I'm sure that just really, as you say, gives you as a composer a creativity and a burst of ideas.
Yeah, Rory, music has to do with these things. Not music is not has to. Everything around of you and me, everything what happening around, and what happened before, and what will also happen. You can put it in music, and you
Yeah.
can tell it with the language of music. And that's what I do. That's what I try to do, and I do that. Yeah, I'm not even trying, because there is no other way. This is my way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, uh, all the emotions what I have, also the history, they bring me to some situation which has idea, which comes out with which comes out with some motif or some harmony. Harmony is very important word.
Yes.
Harmony.
Yes, of
and
course.
I am my music, I'm doing with a lot of harmony, because
Hmm.
it's like we harmonize in this room, all three together with Andre.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about name Harmony, to use this Harmony name,
Yes.
because I love this name. And
It was wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, and to be in such a castle who has 3,000 years past, and there happened a lot of things, and a lot of things happening also now, and
Of
after
course.
3,000 years, other people will talk about this.
Yes.
And so our life is like 1 millisecond of something, and we have the choice actually to live this life with, in German we say Demut. I don't know this word in English. With a lot of thankful, to be thankful for that. It's to take it as a gift, to
Yes.
take it as a gift and make something good out of it. Whatever you do it with love. Again, love. It's
Yeah.
about that, and somehow I guess I don't feel very old, but I'm old. I'm already 50, so I start to think about that even more and more. Just to be just to be thankful, just to be here, and to be part of it, and also be able to do something good. So
Yeah,
that's
wonderful and creative. Well, I think we couldn't end Spirit Soul Body podcast today on a better note.
yes,
I mean, well
yes,
said. I agree with that, Karan. And thank you for your time. Uh, your website has been up as we've been talking with you. Please
yeah,
contact Karan on asatrian.net. That's www.asatrian.net. You get to see all of what's going on in his world. Follow him. He's doing amazing concerts. I think people can buy your music as well from that website. Yeah,
exactly.
good. Super, super. Well, Karan, it's been a joy. Thank you for your time. I know it's really, really late there. I mean, we're coming up to midnight in Yerevan, but I really appreciate it. And thank you for inviting me on such an exciting project. And when it's completed, I would love to let our Spirit Soul Body community know it's ready to be bought and enjoyed, and for people to experience the joy that I've already been experiencing as I've been editing your wonderful, virtuoso performance. You and Andrea were amazing. So thank you for your time. And in closing, anything you want to say to the audience before we say goodnight?
you know uh, there is, my music says a lot, and I just one thing what I want to say is, uh, just try to be better tomorrow, a little bit better than today, and today a little better than yesterday, and this world will get better out of, if we do that. And that's it. That's all. It was a pleasure,
Beautifully
my.
said. Beautifully
Thank
said.
you.
Karan, thank you so much. And we'll talk soon when you get back to Austria from Armenia. I'm
Oh
talking
my
there
God.
with Karan Asatrian. It's been a joy to have him on the program. Thank you for being with me. And please do check out his website, www.asatrian.net, and keep track of this amazing man. As you heard, he's busy writing a symphony, which will be performed in Zagreb, and a lot of other exciting things that he's involved with. And of course, I'll keep you up to speed as soon as that production's finished and available. I know many of you would love to buy it and enjoy it. It will really bring joy to your spirit, soul, and I believe body. Thanks for hanging out with me. I love and appreciate you. Remember, one life, one body, and make sure you make it count. Until next time, I look forward to catching up with you. Lots of love. Ciao for now.